These waters are for you guys to drink too, by the way, if you wanted to just like snap it just so that we can we don't hear the crack on the
I've already snapped mine. Not the ASMR.
Bro, that's so funny.
Dude,
It's actually my pet peeve.
What?
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna be really honest. I don't love ASMR either.
Like, no, I like ASMR videos, but when especially in makeup, like influencers, they do like the.
No. I
that's
don't
like
that.
overboard.
I'm
That's
like, we don't
overboard.
got to do that.
I like the visual stuff more. Like when they like cut sand.
Yeah, I could do that.
I like that.
Also, like if my nails are ratchet, I can't do the ASMR. I'm like, oh, we can do that.
Nails look great though.
I just got it done.
Oh, Slay Queen.
But like,
Yeah, it's giving engaged. That's. Yeah.
Yes, it does.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. In 10 years.
It matches that big fat rock right there.
I got age on top of you guys, okay? So I'm not trying to show. I'm just trying to hang with the Gen Zers, all right? Christine, Amari, welcome to the party. I'm so excited to have you both here. Did you know that was the name of the podcast?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm so glad you guys do that. So for those of you who are listening, tuning in, if you don't know who Christine and Amari are, well, firstly, you better get to know them because they are already on the way to the big leagues, okay? They are former teammates at USC. And if you don't know, USC is one of the top golf programs in all of the U.S., so it's a big deal. You may have seen Christine on social media, killing it, documenting her collegiate journey to now her professional journey. You may have seen Amari on TV already having a start on the LPGA. Regardless of where you see them, get to know them, or you could get to know them right here. So, both of you, welcome. I'm so happy that I have you two in one place.
Oh my gosh.
Heart rates are nice and low, right? We're all zen, we're chill. You just drove through LA traffic to be with me. Yes. I appreciate you guys. So typically I actually begin my podcast with how I've met my guests. However, we just met 5 minutes ago, so that will not be the storyline. So I wanted to actually dive into you both and start with a fun rapid fire. Who's most likely to?
I love that.
Yeah, we love that. Okay, you're going to like my questions. So, because it is a podcast, if you don't mind saying the name out loud versus just pointing,
Okay,
that would help
yeah.
greatly. Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Who is most likely to be late to practice?
Christine.
Christine.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that why you were late today?
No, shh.
Oh, too soon. Shots fired. Take it back. Take it back.
No,
Reel it
no,
back.
no,
Okay,
no.
my bad. Okay, next. Who has a better golf fits?
Amari. What? Like, come on.
Okay. Who has the better music playlist?
Ooh.
We have very different music tastes.
What's your vibe?
There's some crossover.
Yeah, she's like super mega Taylor Swift.
I do love a Taylor Swift moment.
And I'm more like rap, hip hop.
Are you
But I
more
also
team
like-
Beyonce?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit more-
I dip into a little of the R&B.
Okay, I like that.
She's like a...
But I also like Kendrick Lamar, Rihanna. You like that too.
I do. I love it.
Okay.
Why are you laughing?
To each their own. All right, we like it. Okay.
So neither.
Okay. Who is most likely to date another athlete?
Amari.
Well, see, now
Yeah.
we're here. Okay, he's a golfer. We love it. Who gives the best life advice?
Christine.
Oh, I love that.
She's got like this grandma vibe about her.
Not the grandma vibe. Okay. Most likely to correct someone's swing.
I don't like to say things. Come
me
on.
neither. I don't
Good for you
either.
guys.
I don't like to say things.
I just think it's like not my place.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as it should
fair.
be. Yeah, tell
Fair.
it to the men. Okay. Most likely to
literally.
clap back at someone who corrects their swing. Who would clap back?
Amari.
Yeah, me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fair.
Most likely to go viral on TikTok.
Christine.
Christine.
Most likely to post a thirst trap. Wow, the silence was loud, guys.
I'm
Amari.
cuffed.
Stop. We can thirst trap and be cuffed.
With the boyfriend's approval, yes.
Okay. Okay, we like that answer. Most likely to get kicked out of the club.
Christine.
That's funny. Okay.
What?
Most likely to throw their golf club.
Amari.
I get it.
I've broken a few.
I get it.
I've seen it happen.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
we'll talk about it. We'll
Yeah,
talk about it.
yes,
Okay.
please.
Most likely to give someone a fake number.
Christine.
Yeah,
Okay.
Christine.
Most likely to lose their phone.
Christine.
Christine.
Last one. Who is the better hype woman?
Christine. I give it to
I would say Amari.
Oh, that's so sweet of you.
Oh, that's sweet. As besties should. Okay, I thought that was pretty even. I didn't really know what to expect, but I got to get to know you guys. All right, so we have to start from the very basics. I'm sure you guys get this question all the time, but how old were you when you began golfing, and how did you guys get into it? And we can start with Christine.
All right. So I started golfing when I was 7.
Mm-hmm.
My whole family were all athletes, so my parents just wanted me to play something. And there was a golf course by our house, and they're like, rich people play golf. Yeah. We want you to go play golf.
Okay, we're real. We like it.
I also just really liked it. Like, I had a really good coach when I first started.
Awesome. And yourself?
I was 3 years old when I started playing golf, and my dad got me into it because he was very heavily influenced by Tiger Woods. And he thought it was really cool that an African-American golfer who was also mixed was honestly changing the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw a little bit of talent with me. So he's like, figure we'll start with me. And then he got my little sister into it, and ever since it's been great.
I love that. So you basically had you had a partner to just train with all growing up.
Yes.
And she's playing.
Yes,
she's
at UC Irvine. She just started her freshman year. So I'm really excited for her. She's having the time of her life. So it's really cool.
I love that. So we mentioned off camera that we're kind of like a generation apart, not to throw my age in there because I like to be a Gen Zer at heart. I'm young at heart. But for you guys growing up and like being a female golfer, how was it for you both? Like, did you have friends? Were there more girls? Were you alone? Were you wearing boy clothes? Like, what was it like for you guys? Amari.
I feel like I was very girly growing up. I don't know. I feel like my dad used to like style me all the time. Like he would braid my hair. I would have like 3 braids in my hair. So I always felt like pretty girly, and he like dressed me really cute. But honestly, there wasn't really a lot of girls golf, I feel like. I mean, maybe a little bit because I don't know. But I mean, it's definitely evolved, which is great. But definitely starting out, it was a lot more guys, like especially practicing on the course. It was definitely all boys. And I just feel like I've always grown up around guys, like playing with them and like learning from them. So it's nice to see now that there's definitely more of a push for women's golf.
But it makes you better too, just training with the guys at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Feels great beating them too.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too. How about you, Christine?
Yeah, I would say my parents try their best to style me, maybe not as fashionably as Mr. Andre over there, but
King.
Yeah, I wore a lot of tennis clothes growing up, played with a lot of boys as well. A lot of co-ed tournaments when I was younger. But it got better when I got to middle school and high school. We started playing like the AJGA and stuff. And that's like when I started meeting more girls and things started getting more fun.
And where were you raised? Where were you born?
I was born and raised in Houston, Texas.
Houston.
So Beyonce.
Okay, Beyonce, and you're T Swift. Okay, that's wild. Okay, no, but I do love that. I feel like I grew up in SoCal. You grew up in SoCal, and I feel like there's a lot more golf in SoCal. So I can't imagine in Houston there must have been like. Was there even any other girls to compete against growing up?
There was a few. Okay. There was definitely a few, but it was like you would see the boys division has like, I don't know, like 100 people in it, and the girls division had like 10. Like it was a big
smaller
difference.
Field.
Yeah, there was a few though.
And so then you both clearly started playing high-level golf at a very young age. I assume traveled a lot, around the United States. And I assume around like maybe 13, 14, 15 years old, that's when the recruiting process started to happen. Now, a lot of the listeners are a bit newer to the game or pandemic golfers or young golfers that also want to get into college golf. What was that recruiting process like for the both of you? Christine.
So for me, nobody I knew played college golf, so it was all like discovery for me. Like I had no idea what I was doing, how to email coaches and stuff. I had to like Google all of it.
Wow.
Which didn't yield very many answers, but I figured it out. I got better at it the more I did it and stuff. And I don't know, I just started playing better. So coaches started noticing and they started emailing me back. And I mean, I didn't commit to USC till I was almost a senior in high school, which was very late for then, because back then there wasn't the new rules that there are now where you have to wait, I think, right? Yeah, so back then I was like, I think like the last person in the top like 100 on like the rankings that was still uncommitted, who wasn't turning pro immediately. And I was...
Got it. Yeah. Okay, I like that. And for you, Amari?
Yeah, I feel like my recruiting process was very similar to a lot of other girls. Like I was very fortunate to have a lot of coaches watching me. I had a lot of teams watching me when I was like 12, 13. So I was like,
Crazy.
I
That's
felt
so
like
young.
I felt like I had like
Yeah.
half the Pac-12 watching me. So I'm like, oh my god, like this is crazy. But I'm just like, I was so cool. I was like so excited to see like USC out there. Obviously, like Stanford, UCLA, like all these SoCal schools. I'm like, this is awesome. Like they're watching me. And then I don't know. I was planning on turning professional when I was out of high school,
Mhm.
and then obviously the pandemic hit, and it kind of changed everything for me. I've always told this story like. I'm really grateful for the pandemic. Obviously, it's a very tough time for everybody, but it helped me like reevaluate my life and kind of look at it a different way as far as the golf.
Mhm.
And I'm so happy because I'm like I got to go to school and really like go through the recruiting process because I wasn't planning on doing it. Like I honestly wasn't responding to schools. I wasn't really paying attention to coaches, and then I don't know, like I started talking to USC, started talking to a couple other schools, and I was like, well, I'm going to keep the list short because I'm not really sure what I want to do.
Mhm.
And then at the end, I was like, I really like fell in love with the program. I really love Justin. And then our assistant at the time, I was really like,
Katie.
I love Katie. Shout out Katie.
Shout out Katie.
and my godson Maverick.
Love it.
Yeah, so I was just really excited to talk to them and get to know more of the program. And I never got to see the school like maybe some other recruits did just because I was during the pandemic and I had to see it through FaceTime. So
Oh, that's so interesting.
yeah, I had to
Yeah.
see it
I
through
did not
know
FaceTime.
that.
I had to look at the golf course that we played at, now Rolling Hills, like all like just all through pictures and FaceTime. And so I kind of had to make my judgment based off of the coaches and how I felt about them. And I think it was really cool to kind of just go through that process. It was different than most, but obviously very similar that I got to talk to a lot of coaches.
Yeah, I guess I didn't even think of that. Like, you had to commit essentially during the pandemic. You
Over
had to
FaceTime.
Yeah, over
Yeah.
FaceTime, which is not exactly ideal.
No.
Amari out here playing hard to get
No,
with
I know.
these schools. I feel like recruiting, for those of you who are just now understanding what recruiting is like, it's essentially just so that if you want to play collegiate golf, they start recruiting you at a very young age. And to me, it's like dating, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
It's like,
that's exactly
I'm
what
talking to
I...
a coach, they're into you, then you see that their roster is filling. I'm like, oh, I just got cheated on. What's
Yes.
up? What's going on? So I think it's just like a
Yes.
very much an
The
emotional.
verbal commitment is
Verbal
like the
commitment.
engagement.
Yeah.
And then when you sign, it's like when you like...
It's like sign, seal,
Sign, seal,
deliver.
deliver.
You
Yeah.
can't, no backing out. I didn't get a ring for it, but it's fine. That's,
We did though.
Oh, hey, you guys did get a ring. If you don't know what they're talking about, they did win their Pac-12 championship in 23, and they were teammates, and they both they both killed it. We will get there. So you both committed to USC. What essentially led to that decision?
So USC was like, first of all, when I first got there, the weather was amazing. I think it was like middle of
True.
summer in Texas. So when I came out to LA and it wasn't 115 degrees, 100% humidity, I was like, this is it, guys. But yeah, no, USC is a perfect balance for me because it was like good school and good golf at the same time. School has always been very important to me. Marshall has like one of the best programs, and my parents, that was very important to them as well. I met Justin, and at the time there was a different assistant coach. It wasn't even Katie. But when I met them, I just felt like when they were talking to me, they really believed in me, and they really sold me on like the whole program and what they were doing, how they were different than any other program. And yeah, I just felt like, I told Justin this once, I was like, I just felt like this was the place where I can make my dreams come true.
Aw.
Yeah, I know. And it's so cheesy. But
Love that.
I don't know. I really liked USC, and none of the other schools after that I visited on the West Coast could compare. And that was it.
And then how about for you? I mean, you obviously had
Yeah.
options, and you landed on USC.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I had options, but I really felt like it came down to, honestly, like growing up in SoCal, I really wanted to stay close to home. And like I said, I had that factor of, am I going to turn pro or am I not going to turn pro? And if I felt like, okay, if I go to USC and I decide I don't want to do it, I can just go back home. And it's only an hour drive. Like, I don't have to do it
Fair.
anymore. But besides all that, like she said, I really fell in love with the program, loved Justin. And honestly, through my entire recruiting phase, he was there every single tournament. Like, I can't say that really about any other coach. Like, he was there at qualifiers, the smallest events, like, that you... Like, if I was a coach, I probably wouldn't go to. And he was there.
He was determined.
He was there, and he really made me feel like I was going to belong on this team. And obviously, I knew a lot of the girls that were already on the team. So I was like, okay, this is cool. I don't have to really get to meet, like, more people. I can just kind of expand on the relationships that I already have with them. And honestly, he showed me during one of our FaceTimes in a PowerPoint, he showed me like
PowerPoint.
he showed me all the players he had and how their rankings have gone considerably better over the time that they were at USC. And the one that stood out to me was Gabby Ruffles. And at the time, like, she was huge. Like, she had just won the USAM. And I was like, I want to be like her. She's awesome. And I had met her before and she was great. And so seeing that her ranking coming into school was very low, and then she was number 1 or number 2, I was like, yeah, this is where I'm going. Like if he can get her that good, then he can get me that good. So I want to go there.
Yeah. I love that. I love that the golf program in itself just like made you better, because it's like, I think it's a very unique dynamic that golf is an individual sport.
Yeah.
And then you were homeschooled too, right?
Yeah, I was homeschooled.
So there's a lot of changes, right? So golf is an individual sport.
Sheltered.
It's okay. You're good now. You went through it. And you now take this individual sport, you put it in a team, you have your own coaches, you now have different coaches. You're taking girls from around the U.S. and you just put them in a pot and you just hope it all mixes together. So that being said, how did you guys get along with your teammates? Was it pretty smooth sailing? Did you all get along? Wait, did you guys even know each other before?
Oh, you know what's, I was going to say, like, a lot of people don't know this, but I've been trying to convince Amari to come to USC ever since I committed. So I committed like summer between basically my junior and senior year of high school. And then I was like, Amari, USC is the way to go. Like I've been whispering in her ear. A lot of people don't know this, but I did know Amari from before. We played a lot of golf together.
We played a lot of golf together.
Got it.
Yeah. She was the reason, like my dad will tell this story like till the end of time.
Andre.
We played in an AJGA, like what do you call it? Like a match play.
Match plays East
event.
versus West.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called the Wyndham Cup. And she was my partner for the day. And I was throwing a fit because I hit my drive into a bunker and I felt bad for her.
We were playing alternate shots. So if she hit in the bunker, I had to hit the shot.
Sure.
So I was mad because I hit a bad shot. And then I was also mad because I felt bad for her that I hit it in the bunker. And she just gave me like words of encouragement and told me like, it's okay. Like I have to hit the shot. It's not you. And so honestly, ever since then, I was like, yeah, like she's a really cool person, and we got to play a lot of golf together. So that was cool.
I love that, because you guys are a few years apart. So you're convincing Amari because you're already you're a couple
committed.
years older. Okay, that makes sense. And then how was it for you guys meshing with the rest of the team? Was it smooth sailing? Is there any stories, good, bad? Because I could tell you some of mine. Mine was not what I thought it was going to be. I'll just interject and say that when I was committing to my university, I played for Cal State Fullerton, and my coach at the time was Pearl Sin. She was the first Korean LPGA player on tour. Is way behind you that we're just showing age right now. Gosh, cannot even bring it up. Anyways, and I asked her, I was like, so is there any drama on the team? And she was like, oh, my girls are sweethearts. Let me tell you, first of all, my 4 years could have been a TV show. That shit was crazy, okay?
Wow.
The highs, the lows, being a college athlete, whether it's parties or traveling, there's just like a lot of like unique things that you're just being, open to now. So how was that dynamic for you guys and the team?
I mean, I'll say this. I think when it comes to any girls' golf team, whether it's high school, pee-wee, or college, like there's always going to be drama. I feel like with girls, like, I mean, no matter how close you are, there's going to be drama for sure. But I think, I'm just saying this for myself, but I think Christine could say the same. I think we really had a great group of girls that really liked each other. And I mean, I can't say a lot for the past USC women's golf team, but the team that we were on, I felt like we all really got along and we really like respected each other and loved each other. So and I think that kind of goes to show that like there's a lot of love there. And I think there's definitely going to be clashing of heads at some point.
For sure.
I mean, if you put 9 girls together, all from different places, all with very different personalities, kind of, I don't want to say forced to be together because of golf, but like a little bit, right? Like otherwise, if it wasn't for golf, some of us might have never crossed paths. We're so different. Things are going to come up, but it was weird. When I first went to USC, it wasn't as close as we were when we left, but that was also because I started during COVID. Like I started in 2020.
Oh, that's true.
So I mean, it got like we got closer and closer every year, which I don't know. Me and the other girls who were seniors with me was really proud of because that's what we wanted.
Yeah, I think that's like the best case scenario for sure. So then, how was it when it came to qualifiers? I'm sure it was competitive. Like you guys can all be besties off the course, but when we're on the course, so walk us through, if you guys don't mind breaking it down for the listeners. Like, what is a qualifier? What does that even mean? And how did it go for the both of you?
Yeah, so only 5 girls really usually travel to tournaments, and there's a team of 9. So you have to go through a process of like playing many different rounds to see who earns a spot on the travel team. Sometimes there were spots that was exempt, like for example, if you played well last week or if you've just been playing well in general recently. But most of the time, there's qualifying for at least a few spots. Yeah, qualifying is intense.
I can't even imagine. Like, you guys are the top school, right?
Yeah.
So it's like every qualifier must feel like a mini tournament at that rate.
Yeah.
I think I was more stressed out for qualifiers
I
than
get it.
tournaments.
Yeah.
Because once you're at the tournament, you're already there. So
I made it. I'm a chill.
you already made it, right? But at the qualifiers, when we're playing, I would say that we had a really good way of balancing. Like when we were playing, we were very competitive. Like we played our little hearts out, on the course at 5:30 in the morning. But
Early wake up.
yeah, I know. But on the way back, like Amari and I used to carpool together. I used to carpool with other teammates as well. Like on the way back, like let's say we had a bad hole, we would still like talk about how we could like improve on that, what we did wrong. Like it went back to being friends right immediately.
Right
like
after.
it was for us at least, like
Yeah.
on our team.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
there's definitely like no animosity afterwards. I mean, there might be a little bit, like obviously you're competing, like you said, this is an individual sport. Like it's not natural for us to be on a team.
Right.
But when you're competing for a spot, obviously everything goes out the window when you're on the course. You're not really friends anymore. But I mean, you still laugh. You still like have a couple laughs on the course, laugh at each other's scores, and then an hour goes by and we're friends again. But I mean, I definitely think qualifying it's supposed to be intense. There's no gimmies. I mean,
Oh yeah, no,
and
absolutely
I
not.
definitely think it can feel like that if you're one of the top players on the team. Like I was fortunate enough to go to pretty much every event, but I still had to qualify. I still had to give it my all, and even when I was exempt, like there was no like, oh, you're just kind of playing now. Like no, like I was still trying. Like I wanted to beat everybody, even if I already had a spot. So I think it's meant to be like that. It's meant to be intense because you want to bring the best of the best to the tournament.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I actually liked qualifying. Like I hated it at first, but eventually I learned to love it because it made me so much better as a player.
For sure.
And like it made me so much better in scoring and just like pressure, I guess.
Yeah, tons of it. I feel like when I was doing qualifying for myself back then, I think I lost sleep more so on qualifier days, more so than like the tournament. I'm like, I get to travel on a plane and I get to sleep and I get free food and I get to just play and whatever happens. Yeah, you know about that life. That grind in professional golf be different, which we'll talk about. So I assume that you both were on scholarship at USC.
I was at first.
Okay.
And then I was not.
And I mean, I think it's a really interesting conversation because I think one of the common things that people say is that, oh, women's golf is the easiest sport to get a scholarship. And I think, honestly,
I don't.
Oh my god.
Absolutely not, And so for yourself, I assume you were on scholarship.
Yeah, I was on a full. Yeah.
Yeah. And so fun fact for those that are listening in, for D1, I don't even know if you guys know this fun fact, D1 women's college golf, you are granted 6 full ride scholarships.
Right.
It covers everything from tuition, your life, and then the other scholarships, you can split it up. You can get a 50% scholarship, 20%. Did you ever use academic to also like combat? Yeah.
So I had a full my first year and then I had partial based like split between academic and golf the rest of the years.
So how was it for you balancing school and golf?
Well, for me, I actually didn't know I wanted to play professional golf until my junior year, basically. So before that, I was all for the books, all for the school. I've always liked school. I don't know, I took way too many classes to be sane.
I don't know how you did that.
Yeah, I got my master's degrry and my undergrad in like 4 years just for fun.
Wild.
Like I don't know why I did. I mean, like I'm not using it. but yeah, so balancing, like at first it was way more school heavy, right? Like I didn't really, not that I can't say I didn't care because once qualifying came to, like I was, playing, but I definitely put more emphasis on school until one day I was like, you know what, I kind of want to play like, after school. Like I think like I imagined myself not playing golf every day, and that was a really scary thought. And yeah, and when that flipped, it became more of like golf was the main focus. So balance was always, I mean, being a student athlete, balance is key anyways. Like
it's hard, but it is key. Yeah. And then for yourself, Amari, how was school and golf. We can. This is a safe space. It is okay.
Amari started off, where she started off.
Right.
And
what does
and
that
she
even mean?
And she just got better and better every single year.
Yeah, but that was
Let's just say golf was your priority.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
Like I'll always say this, but like coming into school, like I said, I wanted to turn pro. I wanted to do the whole thing. So I didn't really like care about school. Like I was like, I'm not coming here for school. I'm getting a full ride scholarship to play golf, like and to do it at the very best level that I can.
Mm-hmm.
And after that first semester, let me tell you.
Are you gonna tell?
Let me tell you. Okay. All right. So I won 3 times in my first semester.
By the way, yes.
Like
Slay.
love that. Slay. The grades were not slaying. Let's just say that. Let's just say I was on academic probation after the first semester.
Okay.
So I had a weekly, bi-weekly check-in with an advisor.
And like a tutor, I assume.
Yes,
they put
and I
you
had
on.
multiple tutors. And that next fall, because I came in the spring,
Mhm.
that next fall, like that, I don't think I've seen that many books. I've never typed that many words ever in my life. But like they had me on a very tight leash, like at
Wow.
USC. But like that's to be expected. I mean,
Sure.
you're not being invited to the school. You're not being paid to go to the school to just play golf. Like
Right.
you're a student athlete, and the student comes first. And that was ingrained into my head from that fall on.
So did that attribute to you turning pro a lot sooner? Just like I don't want to do school anymore. I think I'm ready to turn professional. Was
Yeah.
that part of it?
Well, the thing is, I actually really came to like school. Like I actually liked going to class. I liked doing my homework. I would actually tell my teammates like the stuff that I was learning. Like
Uh-huh.
I actually really liked it, but it really did come to a point where I'm like, you know what? Like I feel like I did everything that I needed to do here. Justin really helped me, become the player that I am, and I don't know how much further he can take me or the program can take me, and I think it's time for me to kind of, shed my wings a little bit and go play the pro life. So yeah.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, before we even jump into the professional golf stuff to where you guys are now, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on the NIL, because that became a thing when you guys were in college.
Mhm.
That's not something that I had, and I always wonder, like, is it a good thing? I mean, in hindsight, I think it's a good thing, but I think it also adds a lot of pressure too. So how was dealing with the NIL for you both? Did it affect you? Did you get deals? Christine?
Yeah, I think NIL is a good thing because what do you mean by pressure?
So I think what's really unique, and like there's a lot more new studies kind of coming out on the NIL, especially for women's athletes, and now puts this additional pressure to now be a persona, to now essentially be famous outside of your sport. That sometimes I think that newer athletes are focusing more on that and getting the NIL deals as opposed to just your ability, right? Like, okay, now you want to be an influencer versus you're, being a professional athlete. Like, what are you here for, So I think it's an overall positive, but I think for some it can also add this just like, added pressure,
I see what you mean. I feel like NIL is a good thing overall.
I
like
think
you
so
said.
too, overall.
I think that it really, if you don't turn professional, even if you like just play college and then you graduate and you do whatever great job you do, like you still need to learn how to sell yourself and like show who you are and like, show that like being a student athlete is very like this awesome thing. And I feel like NIL has been a really good thing for showing people who don't really understand college sports how it really works, what work we have to put in to keep up with everything else in our lives and such. And I also feel like a lot of people opted out of NIL. Like not like it isn't like I opt out. It's just like they just choose not to, put themselves out there as much like on social media, right? I personally did. I thought it was the most fun thing ever. I mean, I've always been someone who liked posting videos, blogs, like even before NIL was a thing, which happened when I was a sophomore. But yeah, I got deals. Yeah.
I got paid.
I did get paid. I thought everyone told me it was impossible. Everyone told me it was impossible because I was a golfer and nobody cares about golf and only football players and basketball players are able to get anything. Maybe if you're like a golfer but a boy, right? There's a lot more male brands, right? And I didn't really believe that, and obviously I was right. So I got paid, and I feel like it's been a really good thing for me. It really helped me in my transition to turning pro as well.
Right.
So.
Right. And then how about for you, Amari? What was that like? Now you're balancing school, you're balancing trying to be, the best player on the team, and now you're dealing with contracts all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Were you dealing with that like yourself? You're a business girly now.
Yeah.
How was handling those NIL deals?
Like she said, I think NIL is overall a very positive thing. I think that student athletes put in a lot of work, and they really should be paid for that work. I mean, it's a job to be a student athlete. You're not just doing your sport, you're also having to maintain your grades, which is something that obviously I learned down the road. But I was very fortunate to have a few NIL deals that were pretty significant. And like Christine said, like it didn't feel like a very welcoming space at first. Like it really felt like, you have to play football or you have to play basketball. And on top of that, you have to be the star of the team if you're going to be getting any NIL deals. But like I said, I was very fortunate. I got to partner with my favorite brand in the world, Nike. And
we love it.
So I'm very excited. And that led to more and more deals. And it was really cool. Like I felt like kind of like this crazy like NIL girl on campus that like played golf, but like she has NIL. It felt weird. But it's really cool. And I think that student athletes should, get those kinds of deals because it's awesome. And honestly, it's awesome to be a student athlete.
Yeah.
I will say it was very, very helpful for me in my later years to have NIL because I didn't have a full ride scholarship, so I wasn't getting that stipend.
Absolutely.
Right? So,
fair.
so it was just nice to have some extra cash.
Yeah.
Like, honestly,
of course.
just that was fun, too.
Yeah.
Walking around being like...
I got that deal. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about social media. So I've stalked you both, obviously, as part of my job. Amari, you could post more.
Girl, you and my agent say the same thing.
Listen. But so far from what I've seen, like you both have a very strong presence. Has that been something that's been just very natural and organic for you guys when it comes to the social media, Christine?
Yeah, for me, I feel like it's been natural and organic. It's I don't know. Everyone keeps telling me that I'm supposed to have like a strategy for how I pose, when I pose, like all that.
Yeah.
I've never really had a strategy. I just posted kind of what I was feeling.
Sure.
But I just knew people would be interested in college golf, especially at USC. That's such a like top program.
Yeah.
So just posting just like behind the scenes of like me and my teammates would just be cool.
Yeah.
The goal was never to have a big, strong presence. Like I said earlier, I thought it was fun.
Yeah, but that's how it starts. That's great.
Yeah. But now it's turned into something that I think I'm supposed to honestly take a little more seriously. But hey, maybe you can give me some tips about that.
I got you. I'm here for you. I owe you guys lunch after this because of the treacherous traffic that you put you guys through. So yes, but I will say, like Christine, following your social, that's how I found you, is on your social media. And I think you're the first, high-level collegiate golfer at the time that was able to show a lot of us behind the scenes. So I think that's like really, really, it's a big deal. And I think you've probably been the influence for other young collegiate golfers to be like, oh my God, I got to be just like her. I got to show my life,
she's
right?
the OG.
You're the OG. And
Yeah.
being the first of anything is trust me, it's an advantage for sure. So you're killing it. Trust me. So for you, Amari, you actually have been exposed to cameras and all that stuff at a very young age. I think many of you may have recognized you from a documentary from when you were 8 years old called The Short Game. Yes, all of that. But do you feel like being exposed to cameras and, crowds and people at a young age helped you kind of get used to the way it all is now? Audience, more cameras and social media?
Yeah, I think it definitely helps. I feel like maybe that's why I'm not so mindful about posting as much, because I feel like, maybe people are already like tracking me and like whatever. But I do think social media is very important. And honestly, I've really learned from Christine, like especially traveling 4 months with her on the Epson tour, seeing her always like have her like camera out, like waiting to post a video. I'm like, honestly, this is really cool because I feel like I've always been one to like express myself, but I'm not necessarily the one to press the post button as much. Like I'll always have a draft, like I'll always have something, but it may not just go up. And that's something that that's one of my new resolutions for 2025.
Okay.
Is to post more. Everybody would like that. Everybody in my inner circle would love that. But yeah, there's obviously a high monetary value with posting on social media, but also it's just good to keep in contact with your fans and your audience. And
Sure.
yeah, so it's something that I want to utilize, and I'm just going to keep looking at her for pointers.
I mean, it's just a good balance, right? Because at the end of the day, I assume for the both of you that golf comes first, and that the social media is really just showcasing like the additional parts, and when you have free time, right? So let's talk about professional golf. How has the journey been so far for the both of you? I think you guys have played in quite a few events already, right? And you both just turned professional last year. You have status on Epson. Christine, how has it been on the road?
Very different than what I expected.
Really?
That is for sure.
Good,
it's a lot
bad?
of golf. I know that sounds silly, but before, like when we played as a junior or in college, we would go to a tournament, one practice round, maybe 2 or 3 days, because we played 36 holes the first day, right? So 2 or 3 day tournament, and then we go back to school and we're back to being a student, right?
Yeah. Right.
But now we'd get to the golf course on like Monday, and then we're there.
Yeah.
And then it's Tuesday, and then Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
wait,
and
I'm
then
still in
finally
this
Sunday.
tournament.
I'm still like it's still this tournament. I'm still hitting the same course. Like what? So yeah, it's a lot of golf. We only got to play a few events this summer. In February is when our first full season will start.
Okay.
So that'll be really interesting. But I'm really glad we played this like half season sort of in the summer, just to get a good feel for it, because wow, it's very different. In college, like we had our coaches get the hotel for us, food, travel, everything was already taken care of. Even what we wore, what time to get to the airport,
Right.
everything was taken care of. Now I have to do it by myself.
On your own.
I have to book it myself, pay for it myself.
Yes.
So yeah, it's very, very different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was there much of a learning curve, you'd say, Amari?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Like I think, leading up to leaving school and turning professional, I was kind of like thinking in my head, like, okay, how's this going to be? I already know it's going to be hard. But then you get out there and you're like, oh my gosh.
It's a different kind of hard.
This is not what I was thinking. Like I knew it was going to be difficult with, traveling and, making all of your arrangements. And then on top of that, playing really good golf. And it's like, okay, let's reevaluate here.
I feel like the golf is almost like the easier part, because
100%.
golf is still golf, right?
Sure.
You go to golf, it's still good golf. A birdie is still a birdie. But now everything around golf and traveling is what got really rough.
Right. It's all up to you. It's a very individual sport in this case, right? So I was able to chat with Angel Yin on our first episode, and we had a ball. But she also showed me like the real size of professional golf, right? And how much you are independent, you are paying for it yourself. So I'd love to hear from the both of you. How are you both supporting yourselves in your professional journey?
Well, for me, I'm very fortunate from like my social media and stuff. I've got a few sponsors.
Amazing.
I like Feathery, they're like my clothing sponsors. They have been very supportive of me. I have a few like just family, they're very supportive as well. It's hard.
That's amazing.
It's tough. Like I feel like there's so many really great golfers out there, but not everyone can play professional golf for one reason or another. So I'm very lucky to, have the chance to.
And for yourself, Amari?
Yeah, I would say the same. It's definitely family and
Sponsors,
sponsors.
family.
Yeah, like I said, I'm very fortunate to be with a brand like Nike. They're a big supporter of mine, and also with Lexus and TaylorMade. Like they're the reason why I'm playing golf and playing professional golf. So love them. I think they're great supporters, and of course my family. Like they're always going to be there for me, whether it's financially or just being emotionally there. So yeah, it's definitely a tough life. You get used to it, but. And, it's not all sunshines and rainbows like everyone makes it out to be. But at the end of the day, it's really something that I want to do and I want to be a part of. So no matter how grueling it can be sometimes, I really am having the time of my life.
Good. I was just going to check in. Like, you guys are having fun, right?
Yeah.
We're having a good time. Are we balancing our personal life?
Yes.
Are we good? Okay.
I think it's like, I see a lot of, I graduated with like everyone in my class, right?
Yeah.
So all my friends, the ones who are working like a 9 to 5 or like
Sure.
a 9 to 9, like some of them.
Yeah.
But it's like golf is still a job at the end of the day, but I cannot pick a better job. Like
Absolutely.
This is living the life.
Like your office is the golf
This is my
course. Like,
dream,
can't be
right?
more,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So have either of you had any pinch me moments since turning professional?
I played a Monday qualifier for LPGA event, and right behind me was Nelly Corda. And she I've met her before at the Junior Solheim Cup, like when I was like 17, I played in that. But when I saw her tee off and then I teed off, and then she teed off like right behind me. I was like, what? It's so weird. Like, you're usually on a little screen.
Yeah. And then how about for you, Amari?
I honestly haven't really had any pinch me moments. I wouldn't say. I definitely, at the end of the year, once the season was wrapped, I was like, oh my God, like, I'm really a pro now. Because I mean, we basically went from nationals in May and then went straight into the first event.
3
weeks,
3 days later,
literally
flew out.
Yeah, like we were already at our first Epson event, and I was like, okay, so not in college anymore. My dad's with me actually for the first time in like months on the course, and he's caddying for me again like old times. So yeah, it definitely didn't hit me until after, where I was like, okay, like this is the new life now. But honestly, I love it. I can't wait for my first pinch me moment.
Oh,
no. When I got my first check,
I was gonna say I would assume when you guys got your first check that would have to be a pinch me moment.
No, when I saw that I made my first cut, and that was the most exciting thing ever. Yeah, because then I saw my bank account go, and I was like, yes.
We love to see that. Okay, so shifting gears here, as I mentioned earlier, and we talked about, like, women's golf has grown a ton. There's been a huge boom, especially since the pandemic. So seeing from where golf was when you guys were first starting out to where it is now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you say women's golf is doing in terms of being welcoming?
Welcoming, I would say like a 9.
That's really good.
I feel like everyone's, like, if you're a girl who's played golf, like, I'm sure you can attest to this. Like, I am happy to, like, encourage anyone, any girl to play golf. I think everyone should play golf, I feel like everyone's very welcoming.
I like that rating. I think it's very generous.
I think that, I mean, do you disagree?
I don't disagree, but I wouldn't give it a 9. I'd probably give it like 7.5 or an 8. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's fair.
I think the people are like a 9. I think like everything else, maybe not so great.
Yeah, I mean, there's always room for improvement. I mean, it's going to take a long time.
Yeah, it's not going to be like exactly like the men's team, league anytime soon.
Yeah. I mean, the hope is to obviously get there. I will say that, I mean, I would agree. I would probably give it like a 7, in my opinion, just because not that long ago. As you should. We need optimists in the world, right? So not that long ago, oddly enough, I had a marshal come up to me and tell me that you need to go tee it up on the children's tees. Like, we're not even talking about the forward red tees. I'm talking about the yellow, that one that's like in the fairway. And I thought, I'm like, if you're looking at my outfit and my
I was going to say, did they just like look at your outfit?
I'm like, you didn't think that I looked like I knew what I was doing? I was like, bro, that's crazy. Luckily, I stuck it, and he then clapped for me, and I was very upset with him. I then reported him, and I posted about it, and I made a scene. But
yeah, I love that.
As you should. You have to. Right? You have to, because otherwise they think it's okay. And it's not just marshals. It's like other players. Like I'll go to like a public course, and I am paired up with some random 3 guys, and they're like, this happened like over the summer when I was here in LA. They were like, oh, I don't like really want to play with that girl. Like, can we just go 3 of us alone for like right now? I was like, hey, like, I don't really want to play with you either. But I think they just assumed that I didn't play.
I think one of the best feelings is just like showing them off, like a mic drop moment. I would imagine with how far you hit it, they're probably like, bitch. All right. Yeah, I won't say anything anymore. Yeah. So what do you think is something that can make it less intimidating for women? If you can give like quick advice for any women who are just wanting to get into it, you tell me.
I don't know. I don't really feel like it's super intimidating for the, women's golf space. I think it definitely does welcome, little girls and boys to play, but I don't know. I feel like
what's tough is getting little girls to stick with it.
Yes.
Right.
That is, because totally. Getting them into it, like introducing them, I think there's so many programs like Girls Golf, First Tee, like that's there. But getting them to stay with it is tough. For me, I remember it was even tough. I wanted to play soccer when I was growing up because like none of my friends like played golf, right? So like there was no other girls. So I feel like if you can keep those programs continuing when you get older.
Yeah, and I think you kind of have to make the sport a little bit more interesting, like something fun to watch. I think a lot of times when you think of golf, you think of the PGA Tour. Like no one's thinking of
say it, girl.
I mean, we all want to be there. We all want to go to the LPGA Tour, but no one's thinking of that when you first, look at a golfer or like watch TV. So I think you have to make it more interesting for girls to watch, because like she said, you can always introduce people to the sport. You can always introduce the young girls to the sport, but it's them sticking with it, finding it interesting, wanting to be, you know, the first to do this or the first to win 3 majors in a row or whatever. Like, you know, like you want to like make it interesting and not just like it's just golf.
Right.
Oh, it's just boring. Because I've heard so many different people say that, like girls, guys, anybody in between. Like everyone says that like about golf and how it's boring. And I'm like, well,
it's really not.
It's not boring.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you have to showcase certain people, and that's where it kind of all comes to social media and personalities. Like,
exactly.
you know, if you're not really making a big star out of some of these players, then what are we doing?
Yeah,
Right.
golf needs more characters.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
like a
women's
big
golf. Yeah.
women's golf needs more characters. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure, I think you and Angel talked about that too. Or,
A lot.
Yeah.
We
And
text about
I
it,
mean,
like every day.
I mean, like that's a whole thing with like my social media. I always want to make golf seem fun for little girls. Like that,
sure.
if there was a goal, if there was any strategy in what I post, like that would be what it would be,
Yeah.
right? Like I want to make golf seem cool.
Yeah.
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 Because it is cool. So I'm really looking forward to, especially you two,
Yeah.
being a part of that journey, changing the game, Amari posting more and showing her personality like she is right here.
I've got it dropped already. It's going up today.
There you go. She's got something happening. Be sure to tune in.
Yes.
That's right. So, okay, before we end the podcast, I do want to end on a much more lighter, fun note. So
Yeah.
let's talk about it. Golf Icks. What do you got? What do you got for me?
Slow play.
Oh my
That's
god.
the given.
play.
Yes,
Slow
absolutely.
play.
Yeah.
Dirty towels.
Really?
Like
my God.
like overly
what?
dirty towels. Like
it.
something that like, come on, that's dirtying your club. It's not cleaning your club. I don't know why that bothers me.
What about white pants on guys? That's been
I
kind
think
of
it's
like,
okay.
I don't mind it.
I don't. Yeah,
They
that's
got to be
fine.
fit.
Yeah, they have
Sorry,
to be fit.
I'm not trying to turn them into meat. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay. What about club twirling?
Love it.
Okay, thank gosh. I
If
do
you
it.
if you can do it,
If you can do it, if you
Love
do what
it.
I do, where it like wiggles and stuff, like
yeah, we cannot end this podcast without talking about her terrible club twirl.
You can't club twirl, Christine?
no.
What do you mean?
It's so sad.
It's just like a pinch of the finger. You know,
that's
maybe you're
just-
going the wrong way.
No, I don't. I do. I go like this. I like
You
twirl
need
and
to
then
support it with the bottom hand.
you can show me later. How
Okay.
about that?
you know
How about
what?
that?
It's not terrible, but it does need some improvement.
Okay, what about I mean, it's a golf ick for me when people say it's a good shot before the ball lands.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
good and they say good shot, I'm like, bro, you trying to mess with me?
Oh,
That's not
okay,
cool.
Okay, I see what you're
Yeah.
saying. I see what
Like,
you're
I don't
saying.
like that.
Yeah,
Or like
yeah.
the person, and maybe this is too specific, but like let's say you're putting on the green right, and I can feel the person move before my stroke is done.
Ooh,
I don't.
yeah, what's
it's a
up with
very
that?
particular thing. Like there are people who are like already ready to go, and I'm like, unless you're completely like at the back of my head, don't move. I don't want to see your shadow. Like
I wonder if that's a women's golf thing, because
Really?
I just came from watching a men's tournament, and I'm like, all the guys. There's 3 guys in this group, and the hole could be here, and all 3 of them are in like a 10 foot radius of each other.
Oh, and they're cool with
There's
it.
like one on the other side of the cup, and then one in front of the guy, and I'm like, do you guys not like see this guy right here?
Interesting.
But women's golf, I'm like, if anyone
Oh.
if anyone moves a blade of grass, I'm like,
if you breathe
all right,
wrong.
stop. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. This is a dream scenario. You both have made the Solheim Cup USA team.
Oh yeah.
Okay, screw the captains. You both get to call the shots, and you're choosing who's on your team. You have 10 players.
We're playing captains.
Oh.
You are the captains.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
you're the
the
captains
captains.
now.
We're
What are we
playing
saying?
captains.
Yeah. So who are your 10 players and why? Rapid fire.
Oh.
So you, me, and
Oh.
then 10 other people.
Yeah, and they gotta be for the USA. You can't just be like Charlie Hull, like girls
Oh,
going to
love
Europe.
her though.
I know, she's going to Europe.
Yeah, she's on the opposing team. This is supposed to be rapid fire.
I know.
Like forgot all pros
I
right
don't
now.
know. Oh, this is just pros.
Oh,
that's tough.
you know what?
Oh yeah.
I mean, open to. I guess it could be whoever.
Okay, well, you know what? We could do pros.
Okay.
We got to put our teammate Bree on there.
Yes.
She's a little.
Okay.
She's a little one, but that girl can.
She's
putt.
sneaky.
That
She
girl
can putt.
She's the
Short-game
most
girl.
clutch putter
Clutch,
you'll
yeah.
ever meet.
Okay.
Shout out Bree.
I love it.
That's one.
Nelly Corda, Rose.
Oh yeah.
Rosie, come on,
Yeah,
Rosie.
Rose.
Aren't you
Rose.
homies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rose,
Forgot
we're
about
so
you, babe.
sorry. Amari
Just
forgot
kidding.
about you.
It's just like
It's just tough.
there's so many good players. It's hard to choose.
Okay.
You know what? Whoever was on this last Solheim, they can come along. They can come along.
Nelly.
Allison Lee, love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nelly, you can come
Allison
along.
Corpus.
Allison Corpus,
Oh my
yes.
gosh,
Love her.
Striper.
Lilia.
Yeah.
Do you guys know Lilia?
I do not.
I haven't
Not
met her, I
personally?
don't
I
think.
think she's
yeah.
a little older than us.
Okay, true.
Yeah.
Okay, so the
There you
old
go.
team plus you two
Yeah.
and your teammate, let's ride.
You know what? And Mega Gane, gotta give her a shout out. That is my dog.
Yeah.
That's my partner all the time. I mean, besides you. She's my partner. She's my partner.
I love it. Well,
Yeah.
both of you, thank you so much for joining the party. That was a lot of fun. Where can everyone find you and follow you?
All my social medias
Yes.
are at the Christine Wang, which is
Okay.
a copy from Michelle Wee when I was like,
Aww.
yeah.
I'll tell Michelle that.
Oh, that's so
You know
cute.
Michelle?
She's big time. Come on.
Girl,
Her
I know
podcast.
Michelle.
Welcome
Yeah.
to the party.
Yes, or we're gonna try and get her on, but she's kind of busy being a mom right now.
Yeah, when
so.
I was
yeah.
when I was 8, I like made my Instagram account, right? And I saw Michelle Wee was the Michelle Wee, so I was like, I'll be the Christine Wang.
Wang.
Okay, well, I'll
That's
be the
fine.
boring Amari_Avery.
That's where you can find Amari, y'all.
Yep, find me there.
Amazing. Well, that is all that we have for you today. Till next time, fam.